Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 11 of Civilization 5. This is the single city challenge as Venice. In the last video we managed to produce a great scientist. We're sending him down here to build another academy. And we've got one patch of oil which we are going to need to get a workboat on as soon as we can. But let's go straight into the next turn here. We do need to choose our archaeology. Now, if we actually look at the distance here, 1, 2, 3, it is outside of where we can reach. Now, what I would like to do, we've got a little bit of a problem here, is I would like, ideally, to lift the artifacts. Unfortunately, we don't have any slots for great works, which is a little bit problematic. Now, what do we have in Venice and how much money do we have? Could we purchase anywhere where we could possibly put a great works? Well, that's a great music slot. Do we have a museum here? I think we need an opera house before we can get a museum, so we're in a little bit of a pickle. I think what I'll try and do is get that archaeologist to not pick it up. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. And if we hit... is it enter or shift enter? Yeah, shift and enter forces the turn to continue without actually putting anything forward there. So these archaeologists are just going to have to sit fast. I don't want to waste this site because we do need the tourism, and there's no point in me making it into a cultural site. I really should have checked to make sure that I had an artifact site before I picked that up. So that was a little bad on my part, but never mind. So let's let everything and everyone move around as they should. It still wants them to do something. We're going to cancel their last mission. And so to get them to move if we can. It's still asking me to choose the archaeology, which I don't want to do. We've been gifted a new unit, which we are going to give barrage, I suppose. We're going to move our great scientists down here onto the marsh where we can build another academy. Still a little bit problematic that we are getting this because it really wants us to go ahead and do that. Now let us have a look. I'm fairly certain that we do need to have an opera house before we can have a museum. Yes, museum does require an opera house. So that makes life a little bit difficult. Well, let's go ahead. I'd have preferred not to have had to do this, but we are going to purchase, if we can afford it, an opera house, and then we're going to have to build ourselves a museum. So we're not going to do this yet, so let's just go back. I really wish there was a way of just sort of saying, well, just leave it, don't dig it up, don't do anything, because I can't actually get these guys to move, which is very, very annoying. No, I've got no actions that I can do with them at all. Let us go on to our next unit. So you can do that, of course, by just hitting the forward arrows and, well, not the arrows, the brackets keys. So full stop and comma on a UK keyboard anyway. You guys are just going to alert up. We don't have any other units that need moving. We don't need anything that has that needs producing. We can get a couple more supply lines going, and we nearly have enough for another social policy. But I think what we're going to do, use that trick again. We are going to try and skip the turn if it'll let us. Not actually letting me skip the turn now, which is a little bit annoying. Oh dear. Yep, sometimes it lets you, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think it's going to be happy until we choose an archaeology. So unfortunately, due to some bad play on my part, I'm going to convert that into an improvement. It's completely and utterly pointless because it will never be able to be worked by the city. That's my own idiocy. So let other people learn from my mistakes. It's a really stupid idea to lift a landmark before you make sure you have enough great works slots to put them in. And if you ever want to check which great work slots you have, which is totally something that I should have done before I made a complete and utter fluff up of that, if we just wait for the turn to end, because it'll make life a little bit easier. At least now that's done, I'm not going to be worrying about it every turn and trying to deal with that issue. But we'll wait for the barbarians to have their turn. Our factory should be completed as well. which it is, fantastic. If you actually go onto the culture overview, you can actually see the slots that you have. Now, a great work slot, or an artifact slot, looks the same as a painting slot. So you can see we actually have one here in the palace. So the little quill and ink pot is obviously great works of writing. The little musical note there is great works of music. So all we have at the moment, we have a few great writing slots free. We have one music slot free, but at the moment we don't have any other slots for artifacts. So we are going to be very limited to the amount of tourism we're going to be able to get here. Let's go straight away and construct the academy. We'll gain 1 food here, and we'll gain 10 research per turn. So that makes that a very nice tile for us. While we are in here, we will make sure that that tile remains locked. And we need to choose our production. There's quite a few things we could get that would build us some great work slots. See, great works of art for the Hermitage, Musicians Guild, Writers Guild. We do need to get the guilds up and running. There are a few things here that we can build. The police station is relatively important, but I think we are going to get... In fact, do we have any artifacts anywhere that we could lift? Yes, we've potentially got this one over here that we could come and get. And there's also one over there as well. So I think we will actually start work on a archaeologist, and then we can get them out there. So we also need 2 cargo ships. We need a workboat because 1, 2, 3, that oil is within range, and we would like to get the oil up and running. It's just me counting hexes to make sure everything is close enough. I still haven't really determined exactly how I'm going to win this game yet. We're still having a lot of problem with Alexander bribing the city-state, so I shouldn't really be wasting my money rush buying buildings. I shouldn't have rush bought that opera house because it didn't actually get me anywhere. It wasn't that much of a benefit, so it was a little bit silly. We're not doing too bad on wonders, though. That Pocatello is actually doing quite well, so let's go for another turn. And then what we're going to attempt to do is get an archaeologist down to one of these sites that we've found previously. Possibly this one here. Or maybe this one over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take something like this Gatling gun. Any minute now. And we'll move that Gatling gun down, and then that can protect our... Well, it can make sure there's no barbarians down there is the main thing. So you guys are going to get on the move. Got quite a lot of units that I could upgrade and probably should. Can't upgrade the warriors because I don't have the iron. Longbowmen we can upgrade into a Gatling gun. Quite expensive, but worth doing. Pikemen we can't upgrade. This crossbowman we could upgrade into a longbowman. Again, quite expensive, but not the end of the world. We've finished our archaeologists. Let's go ahead and get another cargo ship because it's only 1 turn away, so we can do that quite easily. Our archaeologist is going to head over here. It's going to be guarded by the Gatling gun. Unit needs orders. This cargo ship, you were previously going to Geneva. Now, does anybody else have a mission for a trade route? Let's just have a quick look. No, none of the city-states that we know have a mission for a trade route. So we may as well go to Brussels. They have the highest gold per turn. Although saying that, Geneva's only... 1 less, and we're putting more religious pressure on that. So let's continue going to them. That's not a problem at all. On to the next turn. A couple more cargo routes is going to be very nice for us. The amount of money we'll have coming in will be fairly decent. Ah, now I remember it. It has been about a week since I played Civ 5, and this is the problem with recording the episodes in bulk batches, is that sometimes I forget what happened. Alexander is currently at war with the Shoshone because we paid one or the other, I don't remember which, but we paid one of them to go to war with the other one. So we were hoping that the Shoshone would be able to bring Alexander down a peg or two. They're actually quite level at the moment, which is a little bit worrying. That cargo ship is completed. I do want another, but before I do that, I think workboat. We'll go and get that oil connected up. This Gatling gun is now just going to sit quite still. This Gatling gun is also going to go on to alert, though it doesn't really need to because it's in the city, I suppose. And what do we have? Another cargo ship. That's the one we've just completed. So either can't reach any major civilizations, or we've reached all the major civilizations that we can. So off you go to Brussels. I don't think we are being embargoed or anything. No, just Japan. Japan's the only one being embargoed. Okay, that is fine then. And what else do we have? Greece coup in Samarkand ousted the Venetian supporters. Of course it did. 28 influence. Let us go and give them just enough to flip them back over. I don't want to give them massive amounts because they'll just coup again and we will lose all of that money. But that should be enough to get them on side. So we really do need to start throwing money at a lot of these city-states now and getting them over. Potentially using our spies a little bit more smartly. I'll need to check on our spies, actually. I haven't had a look for a little while, so I don't really know what they are up to at this point in time. Can't remember where they are. Okay, and we have a workboat. So let's look at the spies. We have one on counterintelligence in Venice, and we're 5 turns away from potentially stealing some tech from the Greek. So that's quite nice. We need to get a police station up and running still, though, in Venice. We have finished the workboat. Let's go ahead and get another cargo ship done. This workboat is going to come over here onto the oil. It will take it a little bit of time to get around, but it will be fine. On to the next turn. I may actually get rid of this trebuchet at this point. It's very unlikely that we are going to be doing any sort of sieging on enemy cities, but if we do so, we'll probably do it from sea and air. So having the trebuchet isn't necessarily all that useful. We won't save a massive amount of money from maintenance, but every little bit helps. And we'll get that extra trade route finished shortly. Then we'll probably have ourselves another... Oh, Mount Fuji has been discovered. Fantastic. So we've killed a Swedish spy. Demand that you see spying on us. Because that's just annoying. And we're not going to forgive him this time as well. We've got enough culture to adopt a new social policy. Now, what do we do here? Do we go for the boost science gain from research agreements or great scientist earned 25% faster? Difficult one because they are both very, very useful. And how many research agreements are we going to be able to afford? Probably still a few. And we do have the porcelain tower and they do stack. So it is probably worth having both of those. Venice has finished the cargo ship. Let's go ahead and get the... Right, how far away are those archaeologists? Still a few turns away, but let's get the museum built. We know we're still being spied on, which is a bit of a pain. Oh, the archaeologists are actually closer than I thought. Well, there's no barbarians here at least. So you guys can go ahead and work on that. You guys are just going to get over there just to make sure no barbarians do spawn, although that shouldn't be possible to happen now. Cargo ship, you are going to go back to where you were going before. And we've got another cargo ship. This is, again, we're having this problem where they all sort of are ready on the same turn. Let's just sort this by highest gold. And go to Cahokia, or Cahokia, or however that's pronounced. You guys that watch me regularly know I'm terrible with foreign place names. I'm not brilliant with some of the English ones either, so let's be honest. At least when we get this oil hooked up, it will count as a sea resource, so it'll actually be quite a good tile for us, as well as giving us the oil. Pocatello has made peace with Samarkand. I'm not forgiving you this time because you have you keep spying on me countless times. Although you're actually moving up now. Sweden is clawing his way up. I'm at the bottom of the scoreboard, and it's very rare for this to happen. But I suppose when you only have a single city, this is very, very likely. Anyone you don't get along with is clearly... Anyone who you don't get along with is clearly... Right, okay, so... India doesn't like me, but he does like Greece. Okay, fine. So India and Greece are now friends. Very interesting. Well, we've discovered a few natural wonders for people, so that is certainly going to help. Right, what's going on here? Natural wonder... Natural wonder, natural wonder. Yeah, we know about the denouncing, industrial eras. Okay, another civilization has impressed Samarkand with its culture. How far ahead are you again? 31. Give a gift. There you go. We'll have them again. We've still got some more money to spend. You guys are just going to sit there for the time being. This, okay, trebuchet. Currently making 448 gold per turn. We are going to disband this. 52. We're saving 4 gold per turn, so it's not terrible. You guys start diggy hole. And let's go on to the next turn. We will have to get a few more archaeologists out, just so that we have some ideological pressure. Yeah, okay, whatever. I can see that we're probably going to end up going to war with Greece at some time. They are very, very hostile. Stuff for spices. How much money do you have? Not a lot at all, actually. Why don't you just give me 7 gold per turn, and we'll get rid of the open borders. Fine, that's much easier for me. Easier for me to keep a track of. So the question is, what are we going to do for a victory type? I mean, science is a possibility here. Culture doesn't look like we're going to be able to manage, because I just don't think I can put out the tourism unless I can beeline my way to all of the tourism wonders, which is unlikely at best. There's a possibility, of course, of going in and doing a domination victory, but I want to avoid that if possible. So we've finished radio. Let's go and get gunpowder, because it's only 2 turns away. Lots of stuff going on there. We have recruited another spy, and what we're going to do is we're going to move this guy into Samarkand, because we know that the Greeks absolutely love trying to pull off coups in there, which is fantastic. In fact, I've got an even better idea what we're going to attempt to do here. This might be a little bit risky, but what we're going to do is we're going to take Philomena, who is our top spy, our top level spy, move her to the hideout, and we're going to take Giovanni and move to the hideout. And what we're going to do is we're going to put Philomena in Samarkand, because a higher level spy, when you perform a coup, it is partially down to how long the spy has been in there, but also the higher level the spy, the more likely they are to succeed. Now we're going to put Giovanni in on counterintelligence, because there isn't really any risk to Giovanni being in there. Now it's possible, as he is lower level, that he will let more technology be stolen, but also it's a very good way for him to kill enemy spies and level up, so that's probably the best way of doing that. This cargo ship is going to continue to Colombo, and on to the next turn we go. That workboat has arrived and needs its orders. Of course, we actually need the refrigeration. The number of times that I make that mistake. You have the ability to build workboats, you have the ability to detect oil on the map, but then with biology, but then you need to actually get refrigeration to build the offshore platform. And I do that so many times. Okay, so we've got a couple of Swedish frigates that have decided to turn up on our doorstep. We are definitely going to need to get some naval units out. That is something that I remembered that I said I was going to do on a previous video and then sort of forgot to do. So we definitely need to get that sorted out. Not sure if they're going to declare on us. A little bit worried that they have those units there. We do get to choose an ideology, and we're going to be the first people to get to pick one. And I think that we should go for the science victory. I think it's actually our best chance. If we look at the demographics, we are currently second in literacy. So freedom or order. Order generally tends to be the best one out of them all. And it's the one that the AI is most likely to go for. So I'm actually going to go for order. We get the 2 free tenants. So, first of all, let's see what we can have here. Patriotic war could be useful, because I get the feeling we're going to be attacked quite a lot. The happiness isn't really an issue right now. Great people born increased by 25%. Yes, really nice. And do we go for double agents, or do we go for patriotic war? I think we're going to go for patriotic war, because I can see a war coming at some point. It's bound to happen. We have finished the museum. Would be nice to get a broadcast tower going. Although it only costs 500, we could just instantly build that. I think what we're going to do is get a privateer out before anything else. Just in case the AI does get a little bit twitchy with us. So we'll do that. I'm getting a little bit worried now. Okay, looks like those Swedish units have moved on. And it's very tempting. Do I just start buying the buildings and using my production to build units, or do I actually just start bribing city-states? It's always difficult to know which one to do for the best. We've now researched gunpowder. A merchant of Venice has been born in the city of Venice, which is very, very good for us. We're able to steal a technology. We get metallurgy or chemistry. Now, if you actually have a look at the tech tree, they are... Whereabouts are they? They're both pretty low down on the tree. Chemistry costs slightly more. So let's go ahead and grab that. So we now have chemistry and we've been promoted. What would we like to research next? Well, I think what we should do is get refrigeration so we can make the offshore platform. We could also build some submarines, get stadiums and hotels, and then we can get fertilizer and improve our food greatly after that. A unit needs orders. You guys have finished with that trading post over there. So you should probably... we do have the ability to grab some oil over here now. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and get that. And the aluminium. Even though we won't be able to work the tiles, we will get the stuff. Great merchant. You are going to make your way over to Florence. And on to the next turn we go. So science is what we're going to be trying to head for here. It will be nice if we can grow our city a little bit more. We can make sure we've got specialists in every building. Sweden and the Shoshone are now friends. So a lot of alliances are being formed. Greece still the runaway leader on score. Japan have dropped very slightly. I have just picked my score up off the bottom. Venice is about to grow again in another turn. But getting fertilizer will really help them with food. Choose production. Okay, we have finished our privateer. What we're going to do now is get our broadcast tower up and running, so that will give us a lot of additional culture. We have this privateer. I think this privateer is going to come and sit around this side just to keep its eye on things. We'll go on to the next turn. Archaeologists have finished. They can create an artifact because we have the museum now. So let's go ahead and create an artifact. And we can bring these Gatling guns back. Now, at this point, we still don't have anywhere else where... Oh, no, the museum has 2 artifact slots. So we can actually go and get ourselves another archaeologist and go and pick up another artifact, which is exactly what we will do. And the Shoshone are generally happy. Yeah, there's an awful lot of Swedish ships appearing around here. Awful lot of them. And a lot of our things have just ended. You guys, Gatling guns, work your way down over here and we'll deal with you when we get there. You're actually now going to stay here on alert, and I'm actually going to purchase another privateer just to be safe. Great merchant, you're going to continue to work your way across. Unit needs orders. Cargo ship, you are going to continue to Delhi. And this will be the last turn before the end of the video, and it is indeed the end of the turn. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying the One City Challenge in Civilization 5, and I'll see you next time. So, until then, goodbye for now.